Okay, here's a quick demo on how to deal with the surface mount box. These particular surface mount boxes I got at a place called monoprice.com, and they are kind of cool because they have integrated, which means built into them, the keystone jacks. So usually these are separate and you insert them into the surface mount box. I like these because they cost about $2 a piece, so they're very inexpensive and they're great for class. So a couple things to note about these is that there's numbers inside to pay attention to. So there's a number 1, number 2, 6. This is 1, 2, 3, 6. Over on this side, 7, 8, 4, 5. Those numbers happen to correspond with, if you have the little book, colors. I'll set this down like this. So we typically, in our North America here, we typically will do 568B. So this is the one we're talking about, 568B. You can do 568A if you want to in your room. It doesn't make any difference to me, but I would recommend doing 568B consistently on both sides. So in order to get started here, you need some cable. And this side is going to be next to the computer or device that you want to attach to your network, at layer 1. And on the other side is your punch down block. And then we'll have to learn how to make patch cables too. So the first step in doing this is to make sure that you have some cable to work with. You can use the cable stripper. I typically like to use these electrician scissors. Just kind of nick the wire a little bit, pull it away. And then you can't just start wiring right now because I've cut this wire down here with my electrician scissors. So you have to take this little filament, it's like a little piece of dental floss, you have to pull down on it. Now, sometimes you can just pull down and it'll work. Other times, you have to start it a little bit with your scissors. Once you get a little start, it's pretty easy to pull it down. Like that. Then what you do from there is you go ahead and trim this cable up so it looks good. Doesn't need to look great, but I don't want it to look real sloppy. Take the scissors and cut that little filament off of there. I'm going to trim that up a little more and make it look nicer. Okay, now I don't need all this wire to work with. I only need about that much wire, so I'm going to cut that off and then put this in the garbage. Next step, untwist all your cable, twist all your Cat5e wire. Now remember, it's twisted together on purpose to prevent crosstalk, and you also need it twisted at the proper ratio to get your high data speeds that you're looking for. It's very, very fussy, especially on a gigabit network, to maintain the proper twist ratio. Alright, so we got it all untwisted. Now, if you've already done the punch down block side, this is very similar. So pin number 1, as you can see over here, is white orange. And if you look over here, this is pin number 1, so white orange needs to go on this one. Sometimes people find it easier to start down here at the bottom with number 6, which is just the solid green cable, and work up. That's what I like to do. So the sheath, things I'll look for is I want the sheath at the base of the jack. I don't want a bunch of wire, a bunch of loose wire, that's not good. So the bottom of the sheath needs to be right up next to the jack, just like they show in the picture right there. That particular cable is shielded. You can see there's a little shielding on it. Our cable is not shielded. So pin number 6 is green. So you just put the green wire in just like that. Now a lot of times I'll punch the first one down just to give me a little bit of help. And then the next one up is pin number 3, which is white green. And the next one is pin number 2, which is orange. Now if you can't see it, because you got cable in the way, you can always look on the other side for a guide. I get my orange layer out over here. Hard to get to sometimes. I don't want to mix it in with the other wire either. And then pin number 1 is white orange, which is right here. You see I have a little bit of wire extending through. If you cut your wire too short, you won't have anything to grab onto, and it just makes your life harder. Remember, pay attention to the sharp edge of the crimper so that you're cutting off the proper side of the cable. If you make that mistake once, you won't make it again because you'll just cut your cable off. You have to start over. Now over on this side, this bottom pin over here is number 5. So if I look at my little table, it's white blue. Now if you lose this sheet of paper, you can just look this stuff up on the internet. It's easy to find. Let me try to refocus this. So this is white blue. And then number 4 is solid blue. See, I barely just have enough. I should have cut mine a little bit longer. I'm having a hard time getting a hold of it. White blue. I'm going to go ahead and punch that down. I'm having a hard time keeping it in there. And then over here, pin number 8 is solid brown. And then number 7 is white brown. And there you have it. These little pieces, I want them to come off, so I'm just going to go ahead and punch them down one more time. But I like to have them cut off. Just because it looks bad, it doesn't really affect anything. But I don't like those little hunks of wire in there. That one's being stubborn until I have it cut. There we go. And then the last step here is to make sure you zip tie it. So this is kind of a big zip tie, but it's what I happen to have, so that the cable goes underneath here, like this, and you run your zip tie. Actually, you know what? I should do both cables. This one's designed to have both cables, so I would run both cables through and zip tie them both together at the end, like that. And you have your jack side done. It's really important to throw a label on it so you know which side of your punch down block it's going to. So if this was, for example, first session or row 1, port number 2, I would put a 1-2 in this little place right here with the labeler.